The primary reason that we have decided to do this ongoing event every Saturday from 3 to 5 p.m. is because, in fact, there are many people in Bogota, many Colombians who can speak English, who have learned, who have been studying English, but the majority of the time, because they haven't had enough practice, exposure to speaking as frequently as they should, because it's a non-native English-speaking country, yeah? So we have decided to hold this event, primarily this ongoing event, so that people get the practice, more practice that they need, and so to increase their frequency, most of all, primarily, but also their accuracy, because people forget what they have learned if they don't, right, if any skill, if they're not doing it enough. So it's the same. So we hope that this will provide everyone who wants to get as much English-speaking practice as possible with the opportunity to do so. And we are pleased to provide the opportunity. All right? We don't know each other. Right?
Elkin, since I cannot see the Twitter, if you find any tweet just that they send to us any question or something, just in case. So just let me know, because I cannot see. You never know. You know? Just let me know if something comes up.
When people speak, we are going to be made aware of maybe particular words that need to be used, certain vocabulary words, maybe this is not the correct tense, things like that. And we plan to bring materials, we'll be using resources. I mean, it's a minimal cost, the resources to us, but it's not just speaking, it's structured speaking, so that people either maintain their level and expand their level. I'm not quite sure, well, for people who cannot speak or speak very little, I think this is a good opportunity for them to begin to expose themselves to the language, to be able to listen to other non-native English speakers speak, right? Two reasons for this. One is that it's psychologically comforting, because they can look at somebody, for example, maybe you and Carolina, who will be speaking. You guys speak at an upper intermediate level, I would say. So a Colombian who doesn't speak any English or very little English, they say, okay, it's possible. It's possible for me if I am consistent, if I listen consistently and try to speak consistently, that I may be able to get to this point. That's the first reason, I think. The second reason is that I think that just by listening and being in the environment where people are speaking the language, you become associated with it, and as you listen, you can imitate. You begin to imitate the sounds. I mean, it's like a child. Think of a child who's learning any language, their native language, whatever that language may be. They don't go to school until they're about 5 years old. However, most children can speak some of their native language before they go to school, because they learn it through association. They hear the people around them, their mommy, their daddies, their aunts, their friends, their neighbors speaking the language. It's the same with somebody who may not speak the language but is just sitting here and listening. That's the beginning point. And then it offers them the opportunity, if they want to study further, they can have that choice. But it's a beginning point. It's a beginning point for people who want to begin to speak. right? And for the others who speak at a higher level, for example, at the intermediate level, at the upper intermediate level, even at the pre-intermediate level, to maintain, not to lose what they already know, and simultaneously, at the same time, to expand their speaking of the language. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I also was saying when somebody said that they would prefer like a more informal gathering. I believe that there are several in town right now. There are several gatherings where anybody can show up, you know, and they are not guided by teachers or by instructors, but just it's to me it's more like a cultural exchange.
Yes.
Where you go and most people are going to be talking in English, which is the most international language, and I believe it is a way for you, to me it's more like an cultural exchange where you meet people from other countries.
Yes.
Where you get to say a few things in English, but nobody is going to correct your spelling, your pronunciation, your grammar.
That's right.
You're probably not going to learn too much.
Right. You're going to speak at the same level.
Yeah, basically. You get some practice, which is always important.
Yeah.
But I don't think that you're going to improve a lot.
Yes.
By doing that. Because in order to improve, you would have to live in an English-speaking country.
Correct.
Not going. I mean, if you go to these gatherings once a week or twice a month, it's not going to be enough for you to learn. So what we wanted to do here is to provide a space where people can actually improve their English conversational skills.
Yes.
Both Elkin and I are members of other communities here in Bogotá, developers community, and also other communities, and we feel that a lot of these people in Bogotá are very good professionals, but they lack the English skills.
Okay.
And they have some knowledge of English, but they don't have enough conversational skills, and that can be a problem for them when they try to do business or when they try to get investment. Let's say they want to start a business and they want to get investors for their business and things like that. They don't feel comfortable speaking in English. They feel very insecure.
Yes.
And so to me this is a way to provide a space for people to, without living in an English-speaking country, to actually improve their English conversational skills, which is what matters in the end, because most business you do by talking to people.
Yes. Yes. And I have heard from, in line with what Caroline has said, I have heard from people, specifically one gentleman who lived in Florida for many years, and he used to say he's Colombian, bright guy, older gentleman, would say to me, the Americans always say my English was bad. Now, he could say a lot of things, but it's not just being able to say a lot of things, it's how you say it. So his tenses, when he should be using a tense, he was using the past tense, and he said that the Americans stereotyped him as bad English. And I would say that probably that affected the amount of business he might have been able to do in some way, because people, when you open your mouth and you speak, people tend to judge you, you know. So I think that at a certain level, if you're thinking of doing things at a particular level, and you need English, and it's becoming necessary, then you should be able to speak, not just speak, but speak at a particular level. And this is what I hope to be able to bring to this particular venture.
I think for that reason, I think for that reason it's important groups like Speak-Bogotá, because I read English. I think I read English very well, but I have problems. I understand when the people talk about talking English, but I have some problems when I try to explain things in English and use the tense,
the tenses, the correct tenses
to explain things.
Yes.
And I read and I understand when I read in English.
Sure.
I read books in English and I understand.
Reading and speaking are different skills.
Yes, are different skills. And sometimes Carolina tells me that I can explain to me que me puedo hacer entender en inglés, but
yeah, I mean, people will understand what you say. I mean, if you have enough, Analita says, if you are an intermediate speaker, people understand what you say, but again, and they're not going to correct you.
It's
not their job.
In these groups, like I say, this informal conversation gatherings in English, nobody's going to say, oh, you made this mistake, you should maybe use this other word.
Yes.
They're not going to do it. In business, they're not going to do it.
No.
You know, they will have their own thoughts, they will make up their mind.
Correct. They will have their own impressions, but they won't tell you.
They won't say anything.
Correct.
Because it's not their job, it's not their business. You know. So that's why I also believe that a group like this is important, because it is not a class.
Yes.
Like a
formal class.
Formal class is just, come here and talk. Talk. But also with
the idea of correcting immediately what we hear, so that we bring it to the participants' attention, so that they're made aware.
Exactly, and next time, hopefully, eventually they won't make the same mistake.
That's the idea.
Hopefully they will have a better vocabulary.
Yes. If it's brought to their attention enough, then they will begin to self-correct. And self-correct is when you say something, the movie is great last night, and then you say, I meant was. When you don't need the teacher as much anymore, because the idea, the concepts you have begun to pick up on, so that it's called self-correction.
Yeah? Discrimination.
Sí.
Yes, don't worry. Don't worry, discrimination.
Yeah, and also something else.
And when you self-correct, you're becoming more independent and more knowledgeable about how to speak the language. So this is the goal as well.
Exactly, and also something that is difficult about English is the pronunciation.
Absolutely.
The pronunciation, the way you write things in English is very different from the way you pronounce it.
Yes.
Unlike in Spanish. In
Yes.
Spanish it's very easy because it's very straightforward.
Correct.
English is more...
The phonetics are different.
Yes, very complicated, so I think also that's why also conversation is also very important, because that way you start also learning
How to pronounce.
Yes,
correctly.
Correctly, yes. Okay, so I guess...
Any further...
Okay, another question to talk about. To use the space to talk about when you speak. Okay, for the experience, I think... another thing that is important in this kind of group is when the teacher start to correct, you learn to hear the people that correct your pronunciation. Something in the step is uncomfortable for the person. It's
Yes.
uncomfortable. Okay, I make a mistake. Okay, I try again, but with the time, I think it's better because you say, okay, this is a mistake. I have to do better.
Yes.
And start to hear other people to correct you, and then you really improve your English because you have another person that have the ability and the morality, the way to correct it, but it's not the way it's not have the skills
yes.
to make you correct
to correct you.
to correct it, but the skills is the morality, the law, the authority to correct you.
Okay, the knowledge.
The knowledge.
Or the know-how.
The know-how, and for that reason have the authority to say, hey, you have to improve that because you have a problem in your pronunciation.
Yes.
And this is good because you start to hear other people and change your pronunciation and better and improve your pronunciation.
Correct.
I think it's good for that reason.
Yes.
For the time, I think it's better to, now we explain why this group have a cause.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Now I think to talk about it's a good moment to talk about 2013 activities. What would you make? How many activities would you make?
Okay.
And we can practice this.
Okay.
And all of this is recorded.
Okay.
Online.
Okay. The idea is that with supplemental materials guide the conversation. It's not very formal, but we will discuss topics that we think would be of interest to the participants. For example, one topic that I think may be of interest, not to you, Elkin, congratulations. I heard that you recently got married. But speed dating, right? That's something that a lot of, maybe not so much in Colombia, although I heard it's becoming more popular. What's speed dating? Attend one of the Speak-Bogotá events and you will find out what speed dating is and also the cultural activities that surround speed dating. Another is about stereotypes. I know as a foreigner when I was choosing which country to come to teach English, many stereotypes about Colombia and Colombians. So people's perception about different nationalities, and especially in an increasingly global world, I think is of interest to us, right? And so the themes, the discussions are guided around certain themes, but they're flexible, right? Because it's not a formal class. And within the discussion of those themes, speaking English at a proficient level, that awareness, as one of the teachers, I hope to raise that awareness so that all of the course participants eventually learn to speak the language in a highly proficient manner.
I have a question. If I am a shy person,
yes,
and I don't want to speak, how in the group make or how the methodology offer to the shy person to speak? Because the hard part to speak is to start to speak, because we have to say, okay, I will make a mistake, or maybe I will make I'm a shy person. I don't want to speak. How the methodology impulse or
incentive
motivate the person to start to speak?
First of all, I think that it's a good thing that the organizers, Elkin and Carolina, decided to keep the groups small, because it creates a congenial environment, meaning small, friendly, cozy. And it's easier for most people to open up when the groups are small, right? Maximum 10 people in a group. Secondly, even we'll be sitting close to one another, so it's conversational style. And I believe that as we begin just speaking, and since it's not a formal class, like for example, no course participant will be required to give a verbal presentation. It's just speaking in a small group. So the atmosphere, the environment is different. So maybe not immediately, but as we all introduce ourselves, as we say what we do, right? As people see that everybody is being corrected and being made aware, almost certainly that person is going to lose some of their self-consciousness. Part of the issue of being shy about speaking another language is that the person or the people are fearful of their mistakes, right? But if everybody is making mistakes and everybody is being corrected, then that issue is no longer as big as it used to be. That's one reason.
And this is a place where it is safe
Exactly.
to make mistakes.
That's
because
right.
it's not a company presentation,
Exactly.
it's not a business deal,
Exactly.
it's not a somebody that you have to convince.
That's
and,
right.
So it is a very safe place
Exactly.
to make mistakes.
And they will realize that.
Exactly. So it is. That's one of the purposes of the group, that you
Yes.
can practice in a safe and relaxed
And you won't be
environment.
judged.
Nobody's going to judge you. Nobody's going to make fun of you.
Yes.
And that way you can improve in a more natural way. But again, you are going to be corrected because that's the purpose, that you
Exactly.
you are able to improve your
That's the goal.
Mhm.
That's the very reason why we believe why this event is being held ongoing, so that people reach a certain point in their English speaking level, meaning where they're able to see, they're able to hear, and to feel the improvement as they speak. And other participants will be able to notice too. Yeah, she's hearing better, he's hearing better. We're all going to see it, the improvement together. So this is the point. Another thing I wanted to bring up is that it's better, probably, since it's going to be held every Saturday, right, that people try to attend as much as possible. Because again, any skill, the learning of any skill at a proficient level has to do with consistency. So if you come 1 week and then you don't come until the other month, there is a huge learning gap. So it is best to attend as frequently as one can, ideally every Saturday.
Every Saturday.
Okay? Because learning,
No,
consistency, one has to be consistent to achieve anything. It's not possible.
It's like learning anything.
Any skill.
Any class of anything.
You have to go frequently at a specific time.
I mean, we're not gonna make it like a course where you
No.
have to take 1 month and
No.
you have to attend all 4 meetings.
No. But for your own development,
That's right.
we are recommending that you attend as much as possible. Just for your own, depending on your own goals too. You know, how do you want to be sounding, or how well do you want to be speaking by a particular time?
Exactly.
Okay. The idea for the next year is to start, also make the system all Saturday at the same time, at the same hour.
Yes.
Okay, the methodology always be the same. So
I mean, the methodology that I believe works the best, and the reason why, first of all, it's called the communicative language teaching methodology. And the reason why it's called communicative is, and it can be used with all languages, but it's because the focus is on speaking, on how you need to speak in real life. So whether it be professional or personal reasons or combination, which it usually is, it's not theoretical, all right? It's not what Chomsky says about universal language, and do you believe that universal language really exists because after a certain age, he says, it's only proficiency that's and all of these theories. No, it's actually learning to speak through speaking, which is the practicality of it. So it's not lecture style. Participants won't be hearing the teachers give a long lecture about different theories, right? And who said what, when, where. It's about actually speaking and saying what you need to say correctly. So the participants will be speaking the majority of the time. Teachers are the facilitators. They are the facilitators, not lecturers. Because one can only speak and speak better as much as one speaks. Alright, so if you think you're just gonna sit down and listen to native speakers, this is not the event. The event is for you to speak as much as possible, and we are there to step in and to correct what it is that you're saying, and to help you too to say what it is you want to say. Because many times people say, God, I want to say this, and I know in my head what it is I want to say, but I don't have the vocabulary, right? So part of the activities too will, apart from speaking around themes, there will be little articles that I will give you. We may not read them in class, we may just do the speaking, but I will say, okay, go home and read this article, and then you come back next week and discuss it, because vocabulary only develops through reading. It doesn't develop through speaking. And I would like to give you an everyday example. Think of people who are uneducated in your language. Just didn't have the opportunity to go to school or didn't complete school at a particular level. Their vocabulary is different from people who have a certain level of education. That's not, so it's not...
For speaking, it's for reading.
Exactly, because they're native speakers as well. So one's vocabulary does not develop through speaking, which is a myth. Okay? Many people will say, well, you need to speak more to develop your vocabulary. No linguist tells you that. No linguist tells you that. It's developed through reading. And then you apply that in your speaking. If you're talking about an article, the concepts and whatnot you've read, and then you're discussing, you will use some of the vocabulary that is in the article because you've associated reading with discussing the article. So you have remembered aspects of the article, and therefore automatically through memory from reading the article, you use some of the concepts and including the vocabulary that are in the article. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay? So reading short little articles is also a part of the course in order to increase your vocabulary. Listening as well. I bought some because listening will improve two things. It will improve your understanding of what you hear, but also the ability to repeat what you hear.
Exactly.
Which is important.
And the pronunciation.
And the pronunciation.
Reading doesn't help with your pronunciation.
Absolutely
It helps
not.
with your spelling.
Exactly.
It doesn't help
Correct.
with your pronunciation.
Carolina, yes,
And
indeed.
so, that's why you have to,
Correct.
triangulate.
So it's all,
Yeah.
it's holistic. That's why I believe that the communicative language teaching method is most useful, because you're not isolating the different components of the English language, but you're learning to develop all of them simultaneously, which is how native speakers of every language learn. They're listening, speaking, reading, writing, all at the same time through their developing years.
Exactly. And something else we wanted to do, which is what we are trying now, is to use the tweet cam to stream live the sessions, so that people who are not able to come but who may have a question or a comment or some observation about the meeting can watch the meeting and send us a tweet. I think that's another way to involve people.
Absolutely.
You know, and you can be anywhere in the world, not only in Bogotá.
Absolutely.
The name of the Twitter account is at Speak-Bogotá, so you can follow us there. We just started today with that also. And you can watch the tweet cam and send us any comments or questions that you may have. That can also be useful to you. Not as useful as coming here.
Right.
But let's say you miss one of the meetings,
Yes.
or you are curious about how this works.
Yes.
I mean, maybe
Absolutely.
do I like the instructors? Do I feel comfortable with this group? You
Yes.
are curious before coming, and
Yes.
you want to get an idea of how this is.
Yes.
You can watch the streaming and again, if you have any questions, I think that's also useful for the participants.
Absolutely.
You know, if somebody sends us a question
Absolutely.
about some subject that we were discussing.
Absolutely.
Caroline, what are the objectives of the group?
The objectives, well, I guess we talk.
I thought that's what we were talking about.
We have to talk about
I
something.
thought that's what we were talking about. The objectives of the group is to enable every course participant, provided they come consistently, right? Like Carolina mentioned, it's not a formal course, but there's no magic, right? The more you come, the better your English speaking is going to get. First of all, the more practice you're going to get. Secondly, the more correction you're going to get. The purpose of correction is that the person is made aware of what they're saying and how to say it. So the more you come, the more you learn to the more you practice riding a bicycle, the better you become.
Or swimming.
Or swimming, dancing,
you know.
singing, whatever, right? But the purpose of, and I think this ties into the minimal cost as well, is that it's not just about speaking English. Most importantly, it's about how you speak it.
Exactly, because I was reading something recently about the level of competitiveness of Colombia.
Okay.
We all know that there is a sense of optimism right now
Yes.
regarding Colombia.
Yes.
There is foreign direct investment. There is entrepreneurship. People are interested in coming here and doing business here. There is a free trade agreement that was signed recently. So there is a good environment for international business right now in Colombia, which wasn't the case for many years. For different reasons, security, political issues, other things, there was not too much investment, not too many multinationals were coming here. This is changing, and you can feel it in the city.
Yes.
You know, new hotels.
Everywhere construction.
You see more foreigners coming here. But there is still a big limitation and deficiency, and it is the English abilities of the professionals here.
Yes, I would agree.
That's a big problem, and there are studies that have been made about it, and that will limit the competitiveness of Colombia a great deal.
I agree. Because people have look, I've lived in the States for many years, and when I told people that I had accepted an offer to come here and teach, everybody convinced me not to come, tried to convince me. I mean, everybody, including my own father. What? You couldn't go to Europe? I mean, Colombia? Europe!
And you were in Japan.
And I was in
It's
Japan.
a very developed.
He couldn't understand why. You know? So, I mean, and Colombia is really nothing like all the negative stereotypes that the majority of the world have about Colombia. And it's not just Americans. I know people who live all over the world and they won't set foot in Colombia because they think it's a bullet dodging country. And it's safer. Bullet dodging.
Bullet dodging.
Okay, that's a highly idiomatic expression. For example, exactly.
First question.
First question. Okay, you know bullets, right? Bullets from a gun?
Say bullet.
Bullets? Okay, bullets dodging. To dodge something means to avoid, right? So think of it, bullets, and you're dodging the bullets.
Ah, okay.
So bullets dodging.
So like the Wild West.
Like the one people have that concept of Colombia.
Still, it has changed. It has been changing, but it takes a while.
Of course, perception takes a while to change, and this is so. A lot of people, when they hear Colombians speak, or yes, because we're talking about Colombia specifically, they think, oh, they're not as intelligent or skilled as other nationalities because of the stereotype of having to speak English in a certain way. They don't think, oh, well, this person is not a native speaker. And I've always said to people, I find most Colombians to be very tolerant when foreigners don't speak Spanish, whereas most North Americans and many Europeans stereotype people who either don't speak English or don't speak it well. Okay? Because it's it was Eurocentric, right? And North America and Europe was where the economic power lied. Not so much anymore.
It is changing.
It is changing, but so that is where the perception lies. So I agree with Carolina when she says that it does limit opportunities when foreigners, English-speaking foreigners, hear professionals speaking English in a certain way. They translate, or their interpretation is, well, this person is not intelligent or competent. Which is not the case. It doesn't have anything to do with that. It's just that they don't speak the language. But that's their perception.
I have an idea for the Twitter.
Okay.
I want to describe the objective for the group. Is the objective of Speak-Bogotá. It's make better speakers.
It's to make.
Yes.
It's to not it is, but
It's.
No,
Is.
without is I-S, not I-T.
I-S. Claro, porque estaba sobre
No, I-S, not A-S. I-S.
Yes. We can improve your writing here.
Exactly. This is the point.
The objective is make better speakers. Yes?
The objective of is to
improve your speaker.
Is to guide participants to speak at a highly proficient level. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
Guide. How you?
It's two.
Do you want me to write it?
Jeez, guide, I don't know.
It's to guide. G-U-I-D.
Guide, pero guide is like
No.
Guide.
G-U-I-D-E.
Como
G-U-I-D-E. Guide participants. No, say to guide participants to speak English. To speak
professional.
Yeah, at a professional level.
Yeah, that's what we want.
That's why, because they need English at a professional
And
level.
this is what the informal English groups
That's
will
right.
provide.
No, I don't think so.
No, they will provide some. To me, they are complementary. I mean, I don't think they want necessarily.
I hear the women go a lot to meet foreign guys.
Yeah. But
The objective of the Speak-Bogotá is to guide participants.
To speak English in a professional manner.
English, is capital.
No, I only
Yeah.
have three characters to explain.
English professionally.
No, only have three characters.
To speak.
English professionally. Take off the A.
No, he has a word, a character limitation.
Character
Twitter,
limitation.
you can write as much as you
Well,
want.
you only have 140, 140,
Oh shoot, so how many letters?
English is with the capital.
Mhm.
In English,
Yeah.
the languages are written in capital letters.
The objective of Speak-Bogotá is to guide the participant to speak better English, maybe?
Better English.
Okay.
Yeah, there is no
Okay.
for
We can't say to speak professional English?
I don't have enough space to write professional.
Okay.
better, but better is not with capital
No.
letters.
Sorry.
Okay.
The objective of Speak-Bogotá is to guide participants to speak better English. Okay. Okay, but I think that Twitter have to say Speak-Bogotá and not Elkin, but for this moment. I tweet with my user of Twitter.
I wanted us to say something like professional, not just better, but okay.
But it's professional.
Okay.
I can tweet again in 30 seconds, in 10 seconds. Okay, the objective of the...
So I think that's important to say. Professional English, what do you think?
Yes, I think that's the point. And actually, I believe this group is more for professionals,
Yes.
exactly, who are serious about improving their English.
Being able to express themselves at a particular level. So they come off professional. What do you think?
Exactly.
They could explain concepts, learn to greet people. One of the activities I would like us to do is interviews. Interviewing strategies in English.
Oh yeah, that's
important.
That's a very good thing. Yeah.
Right?
Interviews and yeah, maybe small, like what we did for Startup Weekend, the 1 minute presentation of an idea of yourself. Tell me about yourself,
Yes.
which is a very common question in an interview.
Yes.
You have 90 seconds to say
What
who
skills
you are,
can you
what
contribute
skills,
to this
exactly.
position? Yes.
So
Yes. Huh?
that's one of the objectives, and also that people feel more comfortable and less shy,
Yes.
like Elkin said,
And confident.
when they
Confident.
when yeah, let's say you work.
Like a comfortable.
Yes. Feel good about going to an interview about what they said.
Or
Right?
making a company presentation
Yes.
in English, or meeting with a foreign client.
Yes. We can role play. All of those things are very practical.
So
You can
that
do all those
here you can make all the mistakes.
That's right. Correct.
And you won't have issues with this. And that way, as you practice more and more, and
That's
you feel
right.
that you are improving,
That's right.
that you are not making these basic mistakes.
I have a client from France. She works for the UN. She just got a position in Africa, Mauritania, which she wanted. But she's been taking English with me since February, the ending of January. She did 2 course levels with me. She's at the advanced level now. And it's important to get feedback, right, when you're providing a service. And she said, Arlita, I felt so good. I felt positive, I felt confident, because we've been doing this consistently for 3 hours a week. So So she's leaving in January for the new position. And I feel like a proud mother.
A satisfied client.
Huh?
A satisfied
Yes.
Yes.
We have one viewer more.
Welcome.
One what?
One more. We have 3.
Okay.
Learning speaking.
And somebody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Diego Churi.
Very good.
Very
So
good.
you can say welcome again. So yes, I think the objectives are clear. I think we know that this was not a good day to start
Yes.
our meeting
But
because first of all, today is a holiday. A lot of people who work on Saturdays, because many people
Sure.
have to work on Saturdays, they travel out of the city, they are not in town, or maybe they just want to take the day off and don't do any work or
and
any
it's the time of year to
Exactly. It's also December. In December, people usually want to relax and don't learn new things. They
Right.
wait for next year. And also last night there was a Noche de las Velitas, which is a typical
that?
Colombian. It is a typical Colombian celebration called, I guess in English you could call it candle night.
I missed that.
Together, they light candles at night. There are fireworks in some parts of town. There are parties. Usually, this is the official beginning of Christmas here.
Sure.
Although Christmas is starting earlier each year. You know, you see the Christmas trees in
July. I was in Cartagena 2 years ago, and I was telling Carolina, I said, you guys are way worse than Americans.
with the Christmas.
But because I saw Christmas lights and everything, it was in a mall in Cartagena. That stuff was out. And this was in August, July or August.
Like August, yes, August. Maybe in August start to put the lines.
That's what
It's on
Carolina
Mars.
was saying.
It's on Mars.
That's a
Start to
lot
put
of time.
lines and start to.
That's a long time.
Reindeer.
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 Yes.
Reindeer start to hiding in forest of the mall.
Okay.
Gardens of the mall.
They put those
Yeah.
exhibitions or installations.
Exactly. So this is, but we wanted to start this year.
Yes. I think
Both the
it's-
3 of us said, okay, we want to get started this
I
year.
think it was a good.
Don't wait for next year because things start going.
Right.
Not getting things done.
Right.
So,
I think it was good to forge ahead, to get all our objectives clear, to answer questions that the potential audience may have.
exactly,
So-
and to make any adjustments that we need to make,
Yes.
planning for next year,
Yes.
and so that was the objective.
Yes.
So I guess with these objectives and with these goals in mind, and we have been explaining what the group is about for quite some time now, I guess we maybe can start to have the first conversation. We have, let's say, 30 more minutes,
Okay.
so we can do the exercise.
Sure.
Also, so that people get the
Gist of it?
If
exactly.
anyone who wants to participate from Twitter, you only have to mention or join to the tweetcanlivestream.com. .com. .com to make question and participate with to speak to the chat.
Yes.
Exactly.
To
Just
chat.
send us any
Chat.
question or any comment or anything, and
We'll be
we
pleased to
are-
answer.
We are reading all the comments here, so we can. Analita
pleased to answer.
can help.
Yes.
Yes.
We will be pleased to answer.
You're welcome to Diego Churi.
Welcome.
Our first viewer.
Okay. How about we spontaneously think as quickly as we can questions in order to get to know each other a little more.
Okay.
No, what's your first question? And to whom?
Okay. For you, how long you're living here in Colombia?
Okay. How long you living here in
You're living
Colombia?
here in Colombia.
It's, I would say, how long have you been living here?
Have you been living here?
Right?
Okay, right.
Okay, perfect. Because it's still, I'm still living here. So it's something that's happening presently and it continues to happen. Right?
Right.
So the tense is the present perfect,
Perfect,
continuous.
continuous.
Right? Ask me the question again, please.
How long have you living here?
Have you been?
Have you been? Have you been? You're living.
Living.
In Colombia.
Okay, one more time.
Have you been living?
Okay, ask me from the beginning.
Have you been? Have you been?
How long?
How long have you been living here in Colombia? How long have you been living here in Colombia?
Perfect. I have been living here for 4 years, about 4 years and 2 months. No, 4 years and 4 months.
And what? Why did you come here to Colombia? What did you come here? What did you come here to Colombia?
Okay, one more time, Elkin. Please.
Why did you come here to Colombia?
I came because I got a job offer to teach English. So that's why I came.
Oh, and where did you teach English?
I taught children at a school here in Bogotá, and then I decided it would be better, I thought, for me, if I started my own company.
Any question?
Do you understand? So
Okay, I
how
understand.
long have you been?
How long have you been here in Colombia?
Yes, or you can say how long have you been living here?
Living here in Colombia.
Yes.
We have to use have been because it's a present perfect.
Correct.
Continue start in the past and you continue.
And it continues today.
To do.
She still lives here.
That's right.
And she's
Correct.
continue.
Correct. And that's a question I get every day. If I meet a new person in the day, they ask me that question. So it's an important question, but most people do not ask the question correctly because they're not very familiar with the perfect tense, either the past perfect or the present perfect tense. So what I hear a lot is people ask me, how long time you in Bogotá? Right?
¿Cuánto tiempo? Which is
Yes, Spanish,
yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah.
And it's incorrect in English.
Yeah.
Very incorrect. Right?
Very incorrect.
So, asking the question and it being broad, but it's a real question, and it's a question that's useful to know because people ask all the time. So it's been living. Right? This is the present perfect continuous. You can ask it in the present perfect as well. How long have you lived here in Bogotá? But both are correct. Both are correct. How long time you in Bogotá? I get
How
that.
long? How long time? No, hold on.
How long have you been
How long have you been?
living?
Yeah, the
have
expression how long time doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist.
How long
That's
have you
like
been living here?
a Spanish.
Yes. Where is it?
Start to
How long have you been living? That's it. Or in Bogotá, whatever. But that's the
Or
correct
in
format.
any place.
Or in any place. I get how long time. I can't help it, Carolina. It just rubs me the wrong way. I take it as a personal insult, especially when the person tells me, well, I've lived here for 20 years in America, and they say, well, my English is very good.
Yeah.
And they ask me how long time, and I'm thinking, well, it's not that good.
But would it make sense to ask how much time? Or not so much?
No.
It's not very...
No, how much time? But you would still need the present
yeah.
perfect because you'd say, how much time?
Have you lived in Colombia? That would be...
That would be fine.
Maybe not the most common way to
No,
say
but it's grammatically correct.
it
But
is.
still, because people, you would need to know have been which is the present perfect, and a lot of people don't know that. You know? So I understood what you meant, but it was just like, well, that's not good, that's not
again, in
correct.
a normal conversation, people are not going to correct. They're
No.
just going to, they know what you mean,
Yes.
and they answer, but they say,
Yes.
But how much is for you can, I remember my English class.
Okay.
How much is for you can count? No? You can count 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, like how much items, or it would be how many items, but how much money do you have? How much, something that's non-countable.
Yes.
A verb that's non-countable. Money, water, whatever, right? Okay, but you can also say time is also a non-countable noun. You can't count time.
Okay, yeah.
Right? So you can also say, yes, how much time?
How much time?
Absolutely. But how much time have you lived in Bogota? Or how much time have you been living in Bogota?
How much? Okay. How much time have you lived? Is correct.
Have you been
Have you been?
living in Bogota? Yes.
And is correct. How long and how you been? How
No.
long?
How long and how much time?
How much? How much time?
Yes.
So you have to use the word time. Okay.
Yes.
In much.
Absolutely.
How long?
Right? But the
How long have you? Okay. Yeah.
But the two most common ways is how long have you lived in Bogota? How long have you lived in Bogota? Right? Or how long have you been living in Bogota?
I read well.
Did I write correctly? How long have you been living here in Colombia? Perfect.
Yes, okay.
Perfect.
Maybe not.
Perfect.
Disinformation.
Perfect.
Here.
Okay?
Okay.
Is that clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay.
For me, it's clear.
Okay, good. Ask me another question.
Do you have a Twitter account?
Yes, but I don't know how to.
But you never use it. Okay.
I know, but I will now. I most certainly will now, right? So you will give me the information.
So he knows technology, she knows English.
Right?
I can share my knowledge of all Twitter.
And I will.
No, it's good because the first I opened the account with the Twitter account.
Yes.
3 years ago. 3 years ago.
Okay.
But I opened Twitter and say, hey,
I don't know what to say.
I don't know what to say. I don't know.
Yeah, it happens to
how
a
I
lot
use
of
that.
people. Yeah.
Right.
And I say, okay, I have a Twitter account.
Okay.
But 2 years ago or more, maybe a few,
Maybe a few what?
Exactly. Very good, Carolina. She was thinking. She said what I was thinking. Perfect.
Which also happens a lot
Yes.
to people who, you don't know how to say something and then you stop
switch.
and say something else.
Yes, she's correct. It's correct.
1 year, more 1 year, more than 1 year.
More than.
More than 1 year.
Ago, more than 1 year
ago, when we started.
When we started.
We started with Alex Ornega and Henry Esteban started Bogotá. It's a community.
Okay. Okay.
Developers.
Developers
Okay.
community.
Gotcha. Okay.
All people, all organized people, everyone use a Twitter account and start to talk about Twitter and say, hey, why they use Twitter? I can't use Twitter.
Okay.
And start to use Twitter. I started to use Twitter and understand why and how to use Twitter to communicate people, communicate with people, and meet people, and meet other people, and talk about, difundir, diffusion.
Say the whole thing.
Say the
Try to
thing.
say the whole thing so that we know what you want to say.
Difundir información.
To spread information.
To spread information in the social, in the web,
In the social
social
network.
networks.
To keep people informed about
Yes.
the activities of the community.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good.
So which is, I guess, in a way what we want to.
4 viewers.
That's helping, he knows a lot of people.
Very good.
How many followers do you have now on Twitter?
20, no, 7. Let me
He has
see.
many followers. 700.
765.
Excellent. Well done.
You say,
Well
I
done.
think you're supposed to say 700. Say it again.
765. 765. And 65. And 65. 765. If you can say, for the people who will view the live screen and they can a peek of this speak session.
Okay. Okay, very good. So you get the idea? It's not very theoretical, it's practical. As you speak, if something's not said correctly, it's brought to your attention. Does that make sense? Okay, ask me again the first question.
How long
Yes.
have you been here in Colombia?
Excellent! Perfect! Well done. Well done, yes. I have been here for 4 years and 4 months.
I have been here.
Right? Have plus the past participle is the present perfect have. Right? Been is the past participle of be.
Yes.
You know that, right? So that's
Yes,
all
for
you need to
remember.
remember. That's all you need to
Because
remember.
that you say is true. We don't use more the past participle, the present perfect. The present perfect.
You don't use it a
We
lot.
don't use it a lot. Yes.
No.
I don't use it a lot.
Right. Or many people, because it's not very difficult, but it's more difficult than the simple present and the simple past. So what people tend to do is they tend to use either the past tense with
Past
it,
tense, present,
right, or the
present
present tense, and nobody corrects them. Nobody, because people know what you mean, right? If somebody, but that's the point of these sessions, that we correct you because the objective is to help make your English sound more professional, more clean, more correct, right? This is the product that we're providing. But if you ask anybody, a person who is not, their job is not to do this, they would say, okay, they would just answer the question.
They get the idea.
They get the idea and they just answer. So, for the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 20 years, whatever, you continue to ask the question that way.
And the problem is that the more you do it once,
Exactly.
the
Because it becomes a habit.
Yeah, the more difficult it is
To break it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Acts.
Yes.
This is the problem.
Yeah.
This
Because
is the
then you
challenge.
think, and then you don't have to think in your own
You
repeat.
and it's incorrect, but you've been asking that question, how long time you in Bogotá, for the last 10, 15 years, nobody has told you it's incorrect, therefore it's embedded in the script in your brain. As soon as you want to ask somebody, how long time you in Bogotá, how long time you, right?
Yeah.
This is the problem, and the concept becomes fossilized,
Exactly.
but it's incorrect, and it doesn't sound good.
Yeah, and people are going to cringe.
I cringe inwardly every time I
But
hear that question.
that's
I
what people
cringe.
do because they don't want to be rude.
Exactly,
So-
but it just, it's a physical reaction I have every time somebody asks me that question, because it's so wrong. Because as a native speaker too, just like a Spanish, when you were in school, I am sure your Spanish teacher taught you there's a certain way to speak and certain words you use. And in English, it's the same, and it's just a physical reaction, like how long time will, where's the verb? Where's the verb, Because our teacher taught us, but every sentence has a verb. And you know what I mean?
Yeah. And a long time in English doesn't exist.
A long time in English doesn't exist.
it just it's not.
We lost one viewer.
Really?
Yes,
That
we
came
have
on
to.
too strong.
Yes. How was the word? The bullying? No. Bullying. Bullying. The
Dodging a
dodging.
Oh, dodging, bullet dodging.
Bully dodging.
Yes.
Or bullying.
Okay, you have to change the spelling.
Bullet.
What is it?
Bullet.
Bullet. Where is it? B-U-L-L-E-T.
L-E.
T.
T.
And you need dodging. D-O-D.
D-O.
It has to be
Yes.
set two
Yes,
words.
it's
Those
two
are
words.
separate.
Yes.
Yeah,
Bullet dodging.
It's like
it's not a new word, it's a
The
new,
word for him.
it's
for
a new
me.
term.
It's a new term for him.
But it's not a
term.
word.
It's
It's
a word.
we have two words, yes.
A new term.
A new term for the expression.
Bullet dodging.
It's like like dodging.
Yes, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's a very colloquial expression. Very
It's like
native.
living in danger.
Yes, correct.
Living on the edge.
That's correct. Very idiomatic expressions.
The H, I don't
Edge.
H.
No.
Edge. E-D-G-E. E-D.
On the edge.
Because it's dangerous. If you're living in a bullet dodging environment, you're living in an environment where bullets are coming from guns and you're dodging, right? So it's not a safe environment. Like the Wild West. That's
Yeah.
a very good analogy.
Also, something good about the conversation, I think these sessions, is that people also get to learn new
Yes.
slang or terms that are people
Highly.
commonly use in when talking to each other.
That's correct.
And which is it is important to learn those terms.
Yes, because it helps you to become more native-like.
Exactly.
Right, and the higher your level becomes, the more native expressions you can use.
Or you will impress native
Yes,
speakers. They
yes.
say, oh, he knows.
Exactly.
He knows this and
That's
he knows
right.
that.
And it has a psychological effect on them. It's because you're accepted more, as part of and they think, and it's not necessarily true, but this is the way we think as humans, that he or she is more intelligent, more competent, more international,
So more sophisticated.
more sophisticated.
So maybe I want
Yes.
to do business with him.
Exactly.
Because of that.
That's
because he
right.
doesn't speak like some caveman.
Exactly. Or some semi-literate person.
Exactly.
That's right. It's human nature. You're gonna think certain things.
It
about
is not,
people.
in a way, it is not fair because
It's not.
people can be very, very smart,
Exactly.
very competent, very professional.
Exactly.
But people associate
That's right.
language with those things.
Yes.
It's just psycho.
Yes, it's part of human nature.
Continue
So
with
do
the
you have a question for him then?
Yes, let me ask you a question. What are some of, where did you learn to speak English?
When or where?
Where?
Where in the Colombia Academy here in Bogotá.
Okay.
In the center.
In the center?
In the center, Victoria Center.
Okay.
Because I started to learn English. I started I started to learn English when I in the high school.
When I was.
When I was in the high school.
Okay.
In the Camilo Torres.
Okay.
College.
Okay.
I started the college in the basic middle school.
Okay.
It's Camilo Torres.
Okay.
And when I was a child, I started at 10 years. When I have 10 years.
When I
was 10 years. Yes.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. Another question. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
For before, wait. So important question. When
It's an important question. Right.
Then about the medium term.
The medium term.
Okay. So where do you see yourself in approximately the next 5 years?
It's important. No, it's important.
Especially now that he just got married.
Yeah.
Especially now.
Children.
Because now I have to share my project life with.
Yes.
But I can talk about in my professional.
Yes, absolutely. Sure.
Because in my professional way, I think.
In my professional life.
In my professional life, I see everything.
Yes, I see myself.
I see myself.
Because it's now your vision, right?
It's now my vision. I see myself leading a company.
Sorry?
Leading a company.
How exciting.
Leading a company. Yes, leading a company that can change the culture of the people to change the I think all people in Colombia, because all people, not many
Everyone
people,
or many people?
many people in Colombia have a chip or
Okay.
have a chip.
A cultural chip, that's a good analogy.
A cultural chip that think in Colombia have been made
No, tell us and then we will correct. I will correct you, but just speak freely.
Okay.
Don't censor every word.
Okay, I think the Colombians have a chip that they think is a few things, a few money, a few good people,
Okay.
Only a few.
Okay, only a little.
A little.
Right.
A little.
Okay.
Only a little.
Okay.
And I think it's important to change the chip to the people think that have many resources and
Yes.
have many resources.
Okay, Elkin, I think what it is that you're trying to say, and please correct me if I'm mistaken,
Okay.
that you would like, or you're hoping, that you would like to change the way people see things, see life as being very limiting.
Yes.
You would like people to see that there are many opportunities in life and that they can accomplish many things and do many things if they want. Is that what you mean?
Yes, something like that.
Something like that? Okay. Can you say it again? Try to say it again?
Say it again. Okay.
Yes.
I see myself. Leading a company that make the people
Yes.
think. Make the people think that
Many opportunities.
To have many opportunities in your life.
In their life.
In their
lives.
Their life. And
not just a few, not just little opportunities.
Little opportunity. No, it's a few. No, have many.
Yes, to have many.
To have many opportunities in their life and in their comfort.
Okay.
And this company has to use technology and has to use a connection of the technology and people to make that.
That sounds very interesting.
So yeah.
That sounds very interesting.
Yes, because I learned with Bogotá and our activity we made with Carolina and
Yes.
people.
Yes.
That the activities that we are making,
Yes.
they change the life of people and they change the mind and they change the mind of the people. Maybe this kind of activity.
Yes, activity.
These activities, like Speak-Bogotá,
Yes.
Startup Weekend, Lean Startup Machine, change when the people comes.
Yes.
have experience
Yes.
and change the life of people. Change
Yes.
their mind and say, wow, I don't know that, but the people can share their ideas. I don't know
Yes.
how the people that we can work with other people that
Yes.
I never know, I never meet,
Yes.
that I never meet and start to work.
Yes.
And still this is a cultural change that I think is important for me.
Fantastic. That sounds really wonderful. Great. Great. Yes. And this is one of the which brings me to something that you said, to a point that you said with Speak-Bogotá, because I think maybe we can all agree that if people who want to get promoted in their careers or want to become or want to achieve certain things in their careers, which if you achieve certain things in your career, it goes into your personal life. You can give your family more, right? It's not just work, but both are interrelated. Both your work and your personal life are interrelated. You could provide more opportunities for yourself, your family, your community, and that to be able to speak English, particularly in this time where there are increasingly more multi-international corporations coming here and looking for skilled people, that it will change people's lives. It's not just about speaking a language just because it's a hobby anymore. I think that it does tie into what you're saying in terms of changing people's lives. Because if anything provides opportunities for people, it doesn't only affect you, the individual, but it affects your family, it affects your community. It's a trickle-down effect.
Yes.
It spreads.
Yes, it spreads.
So again, let's say if you have if we have better English speakers here in Colombia, like countries like India or like the Philippines,
Yes.
Like Mexico.
or even Mexico,
Really?
where people are more fluent in English, I think they have better business opportunities just because of that.
Of course.
Because of it is better, easier to do business with them.
Yes.
Many companies in developed countries are outsourcing
Yes.
a lot of their work.
Yes.
But if you're going to do that, you need a population that is able to speak English.
Exactly.
So that is, I think people lose many opportunities because of that in Colombia, unfortunately.
I have heard that.
So again, very smart, very qualified,
Sure.
very
Competent, professional.
creative, innovative, everything. But the English language can be a hurdle.
Yes.
So
Yes. I know for myself personally, I am at a point where, well, I have good with my Spanish, but I would not work with anyone who doesn't speak at least at an intermediate level. I don't know. Because I don't, it's not my native language, and particularly with technical things. It could be dangerous, you know? So I'm sure that a lot of huge companies, people probably feel the same way. You know?
Yes.
So,
Another question. After just
do you have any hobbies? Do you have time to have hobbies? You seem like a very hard-working young man.
yeah,
Yes,
I can attest to that.
You can attest to that. Very nicely said, Caroline.
my hobbies. Yes, some years ago.
Okay.
A few years ago.
Good.
I really like the capoeira. Capoeira is a Brazilian martial art.
Okay.
That here in Colombia I practice like 5 years, 5 or 6 years.
For 5 years.
5 years. Since really the last year, I don't practice it.
But in the last few years,
But in the last few years,
I haven't practiced.
I haven't practiced. Because
Past tense, right?
Practice.
Okay. Present perfect. In the last few years, I have not practiced.
I have not
Practiced.
practiced. Present tense practice.
Right?
I have not practiced because I really work really hard to see.
I work really hard.
Because
I work.
I work really hard. Because I work really hard.
Okay.
Because I really hard and change my. It's not. I think it's not for no time. I think that the problem is not the no time. You know, if
it's not a lack of time.
It's not a lack of time. It's
Okay.
a priority. I prioritize.
I prioritize.
I prioritize the work.
Okay.
Make things with the world and the communities.
Show. Show.
To show.
I said show.
Show.
Yes. Okay. Do you plan to have another hobby? One day soon?
Yes, for the 2013, I plan to rejoin to my group capoeira.
Okay.
And start to practice again.
Good. Okay.
I am a fat person.
Your wife is feeding you. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And I have another hobbies. I like to play games, computer games.
Okay.
I like to watch movies. I have to read.
In English, of course, as well.
In English and Spanish.
Okay.
And sometimes in Brazilian and Portuguese.
Okay.
Brazilian Portuguese, but not that.
Okay. Okay.
And what types of books do you like to read?
I really like the.
I like to read.
Fantastic literature.
Like fantasy?
Fantasy.
Science fiction?
Science fiction.
Okay.
Fantasy, like Tolkien, Richard Tolkien, Señor de los
J.R. Tolkien?
Oh, J.R. Tolkien, like the Hobbit.
Yes, like the Hobbit.
Okay. Yes, science fiction.
Science fiction and fantasy. And biographies, I think is good. Storybooks like storybooks.
Okay.
But my
Fiction.
Fiction.
Yeah, storybooks for children. You mean?
Or graphic novels? Like novelas gráficas?
No, I don't. I read some like manga. I read some graphic novels.
Like the
The animation.
See animation, but manga is
Yes.
It's like a comic.
Yes.
But Japanese comic.
Yes.
It's a Japanese
All over. All over Japan.
But not all Japanese. I have one comic, Naruto. I like all Wednesday.
On Wednesdays?
On Wednesdays, have a new volume, and I read this volume. Not a volume, a chapter. A new chapter. All Wednesday.
Every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday.
I read a new chapter.
I read a new chapter of Naruto.
Okay.
Does it come out on the internet?
It's on internet.
So a new chapter is released every Wednesday on the internet, and so he goes to the website and reads
in English, of course.
In
English, of course.
Or in Japanese.
No, my Japanese is really poor.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Are you listening to any English? No, not a lot.
No,
your
music.
Your pronunciation needs some work.
To hear more.
Yeah, you need to listen to help you with your pronunciation.
Like Analita said, reading helps you with your vocabulary.
Yeah, and your writing.
And listening helps you with your pronunciation, which is also very important.
Yes, because you need to be clear, right? Sometimes it's difficult to understand you. And Elkin, you have the habit. Like some people, you don't pronounce the ending of your words. you chop your words,
Okay.
right? So it's kind of hard, it's kind of difficult to hear exactly what you're saying. You need to pronounce the endings of your words. You heard me speak?
Yes.
Am I clear?
Yes.
I pronounced all of my words,
Yes.
right? You don't do that. Okay? You have to, that's why I want you to begin listening to English again. Okay? And my recommendation is not just movies, alright? Not just movies, because movies, depending on the character, right? Depending on the character's background, it could be a street character or whatever. That's not standard English, okay? Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. I would recommend you listening to news, because the broadcasters in every language, they need to speak standard English for everybody to be able to understand. Okay? So they may have different accents, which is not important. It's the clarity of the accents. So CNN International, BBC, okay? Cable in English, the news. And model the pronunciation, and they also use good grammar, because they have to, right? They have to use standard grammar and standard pronunciation. They don't use regional pronunciation or regional dialects. So listen to that as well. You can listen to movies and stuff like that for entertainment, and I think it helps you understand the culture a lot. But in terms of really learning the language, standard English, movies don't. That's not the objective.
Yeah, and also usually they have subtitles.
Yes.
So what people do is they start reading the subtitles.
Many people. They're reading, but they're not listening.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it is better. Like I have, one or two very, very low students, or people who ask me, they can start looking at movies with subtitles, but at his level, no. His level is more than basic. So no subtitles, just expose your listening.
Exactly. Yeah, and the news is the best.
I would say so.
And also it will help you if you meet some foreigner, and you know something is going on in some place, you can talk about that.
Yes.
So it gives you a
more international perspective.
Yeah, I think also another one is like if you are in business, the Bloomberg.
Yes,
News,
excellent.
That's
and you want to lead a company one day,
cable channel, which is all about business news.
Right.
And so that's also a good way to
agree.
know what is going on.
I agree.
In business.
Exactly.
Have more topics of conversation.
I agree.
Be up to date with the business news.
Yes.
And also at the same time you practice.
I agree. That's great advice. Because that's the world you want to be in. So immerse yourself. Begin to immerse yourself in that world and become familiar with it. And but you'll be doing several things as Carolina pointed out.
And Bloomberg News, since you are also in technology, Bloomberg News has a technology show where it's like 1 hour where it's all about technology news. So that would also be interesting. So they tell you about all the business activities.
Yes, and it's international.
Yeah, so it can be
be
not only for improving your English, but also
your perspective.
finding out what's going on in the business and technology.
Right? Analysis. Okay. But you definitely need to start listening as soon as possible, because your pronunciation is not very clear.
Okay, next
Okay?
this exercise.
I would start to do this exercise, yes. I would say tonight, if possible.
Half an hour, not all day long.
Yes, exactly. But every day, 30 minutes.
Yeah, no, it doesn't have to be one.
It doesn't have to be 1 full hour, but it has to be
30 minutes.
Yes.
Because
Consistent.
I think it's when you start to listen,
To listen?
you have to make like a time
Yes.
that you will understand all.
Yes.
And after that time, because for me,
Yes.
it's more difficult to understand.
It happens to everybody because the idea is that you start. I don't recommend to people starting off listening for an hour.
It's too much.
It's too much for one. Overwhelming. It's not realistic and they won't keep it up. You want it's like a lifestyle change. It's something that you start and you continue throughout, right? Throughout your life. If you start for an hour, you may only understand at most 30 minutes of everything. People get frustrated and they tune out when they don't understand things. So if you're listening for an extra 30 minutes and you don't understand, I guarantee you, the next day, you're not going to turn on that TV.
Yeah,
you're going to find it and just say, oh, I don't understand, right? So that's not a habit that you're going to keep up. So you start off a little bit, maybe 15 minutes every night, and as your comprehension grows, because it will. If you do it every night, right? It will grow, and then you stretch out the time. 15 minutes first, then another 15 minutes, then another 15 minutes, then another 15 minutes, and you keep on doing it forever.
It's about acquiring a new habit.
That's what it is. It's habitual. You don't, that's why I was saying in the beginning, we had said consistency is best. Because think about it, when you're going to school, children go to school every single day for many years from this period of time to this period of time, right? That's how we develop our skills at work too. We go to work every day, right? Some of us Monday to Friday, but for many periods of years, from this amount of time to this amount of time, and if we want to progress, we do so, right? And we move up. Our skills grow. But you can't do, this is learning a language is like any other skill. You cannot do it when you feel like it.
Yeah, usually people will never feel like it because
Exactly.
learning a new language is frustrating, it's uncomfortable,
Yes.
you feel foolish.
Yes.
I mean, for everybody.
But you have to be committed.
Yeah.
What happened?
No, they want to be careful with that pen.
Sorry, sir. Sorry. That's funny. Sorry, sir.
So no, it happens like when people go to the gym, like they sign up for the gym and they start going and they go like 2 hours each day.
Yes.
Then they get an injury and
They quit.
they quit, or they start with a lot of.
That's right. Too much.
It happens.
Trainer will tell
most
you do not
people,
start
yeah.
2 hours routine, especially if you haven't been exercising.
And then
for
they have
years.
sore muscles, so they start finding excuses
There's
not to
no-
go back
exactly.
again, and because they are, just
They start off too hot and heavy.
Yeah.
You start something slow
Yeah.
and you build so that you keep it up over a very long period of time, like Carolina was saying. It becomes habitual. But when you start off hot and heavy, you quit or you find an excuse to quit. I agree.
Yeah.
So don't start off an hour every night, okay?
You will go crazy.
You will go crazy.
Yeah, it will be.
It's not
boring,
realistic.
Yeah.
And it's not
15 minutes,
motivational. 15 minutes max.
Then 30 minutes, and then eventually
It will be an hour.
It will be, and you will like it so much.
Yeah, that's right.
That it is. I watch news all the time because I actually like it. So,
But it's conditioning yourself.
Yeah.
And you won't feel it's an hour. Oh God. Hours up. My English teacher told me hours up. No. You condition yourself so that you could tolerate more. And when you're actually listening for an hour, it won't feel like an hour and it will become pleasurable to you.
because what the news will be interesting.
Exactly.
It's something that is interesting.
Because you'll understand it, but you're not listening for many years or for a very long period of time, and you start to listen to something for an hour, it's absolutely ridiculous. it makes absolutely no sense. You can only achieve an hour and really understand what it is you're listening to after you've been doing it for a while. You're going to quit. If you start off for an hour, you're going to definitely quit.
Okay, it is
Alright.
5 o'clock, so
Okay.
maybe we shall wrap up.
Yes. Well, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Analita.
And I hope that you've been able to gather one or two things that might be useful to your English learning and speaking aspirations. And we welcome absolutely any questions that you have. We will be pleased to answer them.
Yeah, we should be able to post this session on the internet again when people want to watch it later, or are curious about how it is.
Yes.
They can watch it, and also they can send us any questions via Twitter or via the meetup group. It is Speak-Bogotá in a meetup, and we will be announcing that we will take a Christmas, New Year's break right now, but we will announce the next meetup next year. And also, hopefully, we will have, I would say, at least 5 people per meeting. I believe it is also good when we have more people, because it is
More interaction.
and more opportunities to practice.
Yes, real conversation.
To have a real conversation.
From one person to another.
Exactly. So, but this was our first experiment, and thank you, Analita, so much for coming and for bringing all your skills and your expertise and your knowledge.
Thank you very
And
much.
also thank you, Elkin, for being the guinea pig.
Good attitude.
That's great. Yeah, we really appreciate
Yes.
that, because it's not easy to do that. You know,
Yes.
it's getting out of your comfort zone. That is not something that a lot of people are willing to do.
How was the audio streaming? Is that information? Yes, is that right? How was the audio streaming?
How was the audio of the
And
stream?
you don't
Yes.
use the first, this
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yes.
yes.
in English you don't use that.
When is the next? Yeah, we talk about in early January we
Yeah.
We will talk again.
We talk again.
Okay. And we want to have this regularly.
Yes.
Again, and it will be a more formal. This was just a presentation of the group.
And so, and I think it was good that we answered objectives, goals, so that people, potential
Yes.
participants can get an idea of what are these people doing and what are they
Yeah,
about.
why
Right?
the hell are they getting together on a Saturday
Yes.
afternoon?
Exactly.
So yeah, it is, and also what differentiates Speak-Bogotá from other English conversation.
Yes.
Which is, I think, is the most important.
I agree. Elkin, ask me the question again about my time here in Bogotá.
How long have you been here in Colombia? How?
Beautiful.
Perfect.
Well done. You are a good student.
January.
I get excited when somebody grabs a concept.
You had told me about it.
Very good, very good. I like this idea. I think it's brilliant.
I think it's fun. Yeah,
I think it's
it is
brilliant.
for free.
Yeah, exactly. And people get to hear and see. What's the account so I can take it down?
At Speak-Bogotá.
What is it?
At.
Twitter at?
Mm-hmm.
Twitter?
Yeah, Twitter.
Speak-Bogotá?
Mm-hmm.
One word, right? .com?
No, just you search like this.
Okay. And I register, right?
And you follow us.
Okay. Okay. Now, if somebody has a question for us, who is going to answer?
I can check the account
Okay.
every day, and
Okay.
I will let you know if
Okay.
you know. Yeah, I can. I will check it.
That's okay for you?
Yeah, fine.
Okay.
I can take care of it.
I'm excited about next year.
It was fun.
But what do you guys think? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, Diego Shuri, in January, in the next in January,
Yes.
we will share the information in the. ¿Qué nos pasó toda esa mitad? No, claro.
Check. January es la primera como el mes es lo que. No, go to va separado.
Okay, right?
Okay.